Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. Again, we talk to Angela. She is a storyteller. She's a runner. She likes challenges. And she has something cool in her podcast. So don't miss out. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday, every Wednesday. Don't miss out. Follow on your preferred platform. We have more than 200 episodes. Something to reach, a great challenge to have. Everybody has a story.
So I assumed this is what this person was going to talk about. I talked to a woman who had been shot and became a quadriplegic, and I was associates with her daughter. She was a set designer for one of my shows, and her name is Julie Dombo. And she came on the show, and I figured that's what she was going to talk about. She just survived so much through the whole event that I wanted to talk to her because she was able to keep up her spirit and was so positive, and she didn't want to die. And I swear that's the only reason why she didn't. And she came on and she talked about, she was 1 year into her retirement at an AT&T store, and someone came in, and she was a school counselor, and this guy came in, young guy, and held up the store, and her school counselor training kicked in, and she tried to negotiate with him. And I believe she was shot at least 2 times. And when she had to go into the hospital, they had to give her this special meds that would restrict the blood flow to her limbs, but would keep her organs as well as they could. And then when she woke up out of coma, she was told that they were going to have to amputate everything. And so I kind of knew the story, but I didn't. But what was really shocking about that is when I talked to her, towards the end of the interview, she just revealed out of nowhere that as of like the following week, she was going to be a cancer survivor. And without telling anybody, she had gone through breast cancer, and they believe it was probably linked to those meds. She was a huge power walker, super fit woman before all this happened. Her lung health saved her. Being a lifelong athlete saved her. First, she revealed that she was a cancer survivor all of a sudden. And I was like, I had no idea. And she goes, no, you're the only one. You're the first person I've told outside of the family. And then she told me she lived in a red state. I believe she lives in Kansas. And then she revealed to me that I think it was a group of Dutch photographers. They were doing this exhibition about the impacts of guns in America. They had come to her house and took photos of her like surrounded by guns, her holding her prosthetics. And she made a comment to me. She was like, I know when this goes public, when these photos go public, that I'm going to get NRA people trying to find me. And she goes, and I was shocked that she said that. She was like, they can come because this is my story, and I believe in logical gun legislation, and they can't take this away from me. And I was shocked. I was shocked that after everything she went through, she had to go through cancer, and then she was doing this kind of like F you, like, this is my story, come and take photos. And she said it was so empowering. It was so empowering to be there. Like, I think at one point she said that she was on a bed, like, I think like surrounded by guns, holding her leg. Oh my, her audacity. That was really shocking to me because I was like, I don't know if I could do that. You are one hell of a lady.
I think so, just to say the least. And I'm curious, like, how do you find those people? I mean, like, amazing stories. And do you get people sent to you, or how do you find those people?
Sometimes people send it to me, but oftentimes I try to stay away from people who have crafted their stories. So I'll get like people who are coaches or consultants or have some business strategy that they're pitching, you know, that they do in their business or whatever. I've worked a lot of really crazy jobs in order to be an artist. Like in a lot of industries, I started off as a theater producer that led me to do a lot of like administrative and marketing roles in all sorts of industries. Within my own circle, I like tend to reach out to people and people will reach out. But as a playwright, I'm always super aware of characters. So I will just see someone respond to someone's Facebook post and I'll be like, they sound interesting without even knowing their story, or read articles. I contacted the oldest working barber in the world. He lived in upstate New York and I interviewed Tony. He was 107 when I interviewed him, and he worked full time still. And I just saw his article and I was like, that's someone I want to talk to. I'm just always on the lookout for people who I don't need to know your story. I don't need to know anything about you. If I think you're going to be fun to talk to, like a good conversationalist, I'll get recommendations from my networks, or I'll just cold email a lot of people and just be like, I think you'd be cool to talk to. Are you down?
I thought we start out talking about a little bit storytelling, magic, right? And all of a sudden we find out that you find the most, I don't know, interesting people that there are on the planet. And everybody, I think, has a fantastic story.
Yes. When people say they don't have a story, I think, stop it. Like maybe it's just the way that I am, but like I've had the craziest things told to me by random people on subways, at bars, at restaurants, because I inherently think if you're existing, you are interesting. There is something you're going to tell me that's going to blow my mind. Yeah. And that's a given. That's 100% guaranteed. Like, let's chat. Everyone has a story.
And you just said it, like everybody has a story and everybody's unique. Nobody is the same.
No. And it's all interesting. And like, that's the other thing. Stories, they raise our empathy. And so even just hearing, you might assume something about somebody, but chances are you have no idea. Like sometimes I'll ask some really cliche questions on accident. I try to stay away from those. Like I asked Julie, the gunshot survivor, I said, the cliche thing to ask somebody who goes through something really traumatic or sad is, what surprised you about yourself going through this? This is a very cliche question. And I decided to ask her that. Her answer was nothing, because I already knew I was strong. Never would I ever think that would, but people have also just very different reactions to things that you have no idea. Just chat.
I have a few more final questions. Is it more about listening, answering, or questioning? Or it seems so interesting, right? You have a set of questions and then you listen what people say, or how do you get the best out of people?
You just listen. I ask one question. What is your moment? And I can't know about it. And then I go on the fly asking questions. For me, it's investigating. It's trying to like dig up the thread. I guess because I know story structure, I will often ask something like, before this, were you doing the following? Who were you before this? What was that like? And no, I just go with the flow. I mean, I think you have to be curious, or embrace your curiosity and investigate and ask questions, and do so respectfully. Know your audience.
It always boils down to who is your audience, right?
Yeah. I mean, and especially anytime someone's willing to show you a piece of them or their life experience, treat that with some bit of respect, because I think often when people say they're not interesting, it's just that they're afraid to expose themselves. Yeah. I don't think they really think they're not interesting. They don't want to be embarrassed, or don't want to be exposed, or are shy, or
One final question. How did you meet Ed Snaps?
Oh my gosh. At a networking event for the Shine Foundation at that time, it was being run by, I believe her name was Jennifer Tan, and they were doing, the Shine Foundation provides financial literacy for domestic abuse survivors who are in the shelter system, because the lack of financial knowledge is one of the big reasons they go back to the abuse situation. They were doing a thing with Merrill Lynch to talk about that situation. And there was someone from Fox News. Anyway, they had a panel, and Suzanne happened to be there. I didn't know Suzanne, but I think someone on her board was associated with Merrill Lynch. And I told her what I did. And I'm really obsessed with the arts and science. Like, I love to find ways to force the public to engage with science through the arts, because I think that literacy and comfortability, because it's not really there, causes a lot of the misinformation that we're seeing now. And so that woman was just like, oh, I know you need to meet this person. And we just exchanged emails at the event. And ever since then, I've been circling around at snacks.
The funny thing is, and how we want to end, actually, you and I were at the same event.
Oh, you were? Oh my gosh.
We have not met in person, but we were at the same event. I also met Dr. Z, as we know her, at the same event with the Shine Foundation. Isn't that fun?
Oh my gosh. You met her there too?
Yeah.
Wow. We both met
at the same time.
That was a very productive day for her.
She looks out for the good people, let's say the least.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. That's great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
That's a fun story. Angela, I think we can talk for hours and days. We have all the information on the show notes.
Yeah.
Find out who your audience is. Thank you so much for this inspiring and uplifting talk with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday, every Wednesday. Don't miss out. Follow on your preferred platform. We have more than 200 episodes. Something to reach, a great challenge to have. Thank you for following us. Bye-bye. Until next time.